For more on the growing marijuana, we turn now to our elections director, Anthony Salvanto. Anthony, we're normally talking to you about candidates and the economy, how people are feeling about things like that. This is a completely different topic.
We thought this was a good day to roll out a new poll. So,
yes.
you know,
I think, and what's very interesting about this poll, try to avoid the puns, can you?
I can't.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, you know I can't.
So 61% of Americans now favor legalizing marijuana. Why is the support growing?
Yeah, it's a new high, as everyone say.
Oh, Lord.
Went right
Get
there.
them all out of the way in the first two sentences, please.
And look, one big part of this is generational effects.
Yeah.
So when you look at folks who are over 65, they're the least likely to say that it should be legal, but everybody from 65 on down, and especially younger people, are all saying that it should be in larger and larger numbers. And that's what's leading the charge here towards favoring legalization. And also, if you look at it too, even among baby boomers, so I shouldn't just put all the focus on the youngest people, even among baby boomers who maybe grew up in the 60s and the 70s, and we know may have tried it back then, maybe that's all part of it as well.
Right.
Last wrinkle here too is that there's an attitude that pot is not as dangerous as, say, alcohol or than other drugs. And that's what people tell us in the poll. So that may also have something to do with the feeling that it could be legalized if people don't think that it's as dangerous of a drug.
Right. So while this is happening, while attitudes are changing, our new Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, says that he wants to review now the policies in regards to marijuana. And, you know, we know that he's really not in favor of the legalization of marijuana. We're looking at a possible crackdown. I'm wondering how the American public feels about his approach.
Yeah, in the states that have legalized it, and there's 8, including D.C., that have allowed recreational use, and there's many more, about half the states that also would include medicinal marijuana. But of the states that have legalized it, Americans say that the federal government should not take a role in trying to stop marijuana sale and use in those states. So here again, people really looking at a sort of a state-level decision on things, and they do that often generally, and in particular on this.
Well, many of these states would have had referendums. They would have debated and thought about it, and presumably by the time they went to take a vote, were very knowledgeable.
Right. And the interesting thing there, too, is that this cuts across party lines. So you get into politics a little bit, and you say, you know, Democrats and Republicans and independents all agree that the federal government should not be trying this. And also, very few people think that marijuana use leads to violent crime. So that's another difference maybe between how people see this, you know, as an enforcement measure as opposed to what are the ramifications of legalizing it, and they think that Americans think that it does not lead to an increase in violent crime.
That's very interesting, because another one of the statistics that you have is that 69%, it's a lot of people, 69% of those polled think that habitual drug use should be treated as an addiction and not as a criminal matter. Right,
and here we're looking more broadly. And you know, the question was habitual drug use, but you know, this is often a topic of debate, and you know, there's been the war on drugs, and there's been a focus on what do we do to criminalize usage. But Americans are pushing back now and in greater numbers and saying it's a mental health problem, it's an addiction problem, and that it should be treated through the mental health system and the medical system as opposed to the criminal justice system. And that's in lopsided numbers a big thing that we see here too.
It's very, very interesting. Anthony Salvanto, thank you very much.
Thank you.